best entertainment on the earth. Tune in for Comics with Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I thought I'd do this video a little sooner than normal. So jumping to the top of the queue, I'm trying to actually go further down in the questions that get sent into this channel to, be able to kind of cut through what is, how many messages here now? 12,452. That's what the little notification says on Google. I'm sure some of those are spam. Maybe there's another company that would like to desperately promote on this channel. Dear person, I like the ones that go like that. Dear person, we would love to participate on promotion of your channel. We are a real company. I always love when people put in we are a real company. It's like, oh, okay, very nice. But this mail is in response to a recent video. So in order to strike while the iron's hot, so to speak, we'll read this mail out and get this video up sooner. So it's relatively short. Hey Perch, I just saw your video about comics in Barnes & Noble versus manga, and my observation is, finally you've come around to what Comicsgate was saying 5 years ago. My question is, why did it take you so long to do it? I understand you're a retailer, so is the answer that you really don't like the idea of the industry changing because it hurts you financially? Well, all right, let's finish off the mail. I, for one, am glad that you've finally seen the light. Welcome to Comicsgate. All right. And then there's a little bit here about a comic that the person is promoting. And which I'm happy to do, but I will do in an absolutely different video, because I'm about to rip this mail and I don't want to combine those two. So first off, somebody pointed this out. I don't know where. If anybody sees the link, it was up on Kiwi Farms or another video, or somebody sent a live stream or wherever, because everybody's giving the exact same sentence when it comes to this. Perch is saying what Comicsgate said 5 years ago. It's always 5 years ago. It's always the same. So who's the origin source? Which person is that origin? Because the person who said that is a liar, flat out. And I could say this for a fact for a couple reasons. Okay, so one of the very, very first people to post photos saying, hey, something is happening at the big box stores with the shelves moving was me. And the receipts are available. First of all, you can certainly go search in Google and look at the image, and tweets will show up there. A lot of my old Twitter is nuked, in fairness, so you can't see those. But I've been making videos on this topic since 2019, which in fairness, 4 years ago. And if you go back and you look at the comments, which haven't been erased and everything else, you'll see lots of disagreement on this topic. Mainly people saying Barnes & Noble is about to go extinct, and not just people in comics, people in Comicsgate as well. I guess those are all people in comics, but I mean, not just editors and others like the video from earlier. So no, that was not said. And some of the people that was pointed out, I mean, if you talk to Doug Ernst, who also commented on this earlier, he will confirm I was one of the very first people to point this out, and we talked about it many times. And initially, the conversations with a lot of the people I talked to were around the realm of, hey, what do you think this is going to mean for the business? How do you think this is going to change? I'm not currently a retailer. I was a retailer at the time, and it was alarming to see the big box stores having this sudden sea change of content. It was not a healthy sign. And so one of the earliest people to do this was me. Not finally you've come around to something CG said 5 years ago. And as long as I'm on that point for just a moment, people, every now and then I have debates with people saying, what is, a lot of CG people just want to put out their comics and everything else. And that is true, by the way. A lot of them do. I pull out, and I know this will not win me any friends, but people who come around and just post the blanket CG as a hate group stuff are being unfair to quite a few people who are trying to get their comic out. And that is the method and the channel they decided to do it in. Okay. It is like in everything in life, there's a handful of loudmouths in every single group. A lot of people just trying to get business done. And I do feel for those people. Absolutely. However, or not even however, people ask me, say, so what gives? There was a video a couple weeks ago. Somebody's like, well, why do people complain about CG? Well, this may be dad advice nobody wants to hear, but one of the reasons is stuff like this. I'm reminded of J. Scott Campbell when he got a bunch of people harassing him around where are the organs for his for the woman on the cover. The 2D drawing, people were concerned about the organs. By the way, I don't give a shit. I think it's flat out sick if you're looking at a comic character, you're looking at Mary Jane, an illustration of Mary Jane Watson or Parker, and your first thought is, well, I wonder what her organs look like. That's a weird take. I'm sorry. Anyway, a bunch of people are harassing Campbell over this cover, and a bunch of people like, this is sexist. It was, the usual assortment of clowns, and some people within comics, some editors, particularly in the indie scene, were like, oh yeah, he's one of those people, sideways glance, that kind of crap. That kind of crap that drives me crazy. And when this controversy erupted, Campbell was like, hey, I'm interested in listening to all people, including this dreaded, scary CG group, which at the time was it was a lot more hostile than it is now. You had creators signing like this declaration of peace, or not peace. What is it? There was this weird form letter. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but this weird form letter went around like, I will not tolerate hate, and it was the exact same thing. What's slightly comical about that letter is, a couple months later, few of the individuals who signed it were outed as being weird sex fiends. But anyway, who cares about history? This whole video is starting to fall into the territory of everyone sucks. I apologize for that. Anyway, when Campbell kind of reached out, like, you know what, I'll listen to this other side. Yeah, I'll do it. Now, Campbell's a major artist, does covers, pretty big person in the industry, and that was a big moment. That was somebody saying, you know what, I'm gonna turn the volume down and try and listen. Brian Edward Hill did something similar. Like, look, I'll talk to you, whoever you are. I just want to treat people like people, which is, by the way, the exact right thing to do. When Campbell did that, a bunch of people went in and go, congratulations, you're CG now, one of us. And they immediately turned it into a weird cult thing. Not all of them. Again, not most of them. My guess is several of you listening to this show right now are either publishing a comic or consider yourself loosely affiliated with CG. And you're going, what the hell? I didn't do any of that. Good. I'm not talking about you. You're fine. Most people are. But a handful of people in there, and made it super weird for Campbell to the point that he had to back away. There's this moment where he was ready to listen, ready to actually say, let's have a conversation as people, which was good. And it got weird. You made it weird for him. And he backed away from it hard. I know he still talks to some people through DMs and other things. His heart's still in the right place. But it got so strange for him because it was immediately like, now you're part of our club. It's like, hold on, I don't want to join anything. I just want to treat human beings like human beings. That stuff irritates the crap out of people. So yeah, when people come in and like, congratulations, you're one of us now. It only took you 5 years to get there. Okay, number one, it's factually wrong and dumb. I mean, it is a blurry day when I'm taking shit in the comments from, you've done this video already 20 times. And people going, you finally figured it out. Okay, come on, it can't be both. It can't be. So just look, if you care, don't make it weird for people, particularly when you get comic artists and big names, like Campbell, like others. Diodato had a similar thing go on with him. You chase these people away by being the clingy girlfriend from the meme. That's what it feels like. Man, people are going to hate the shit out of it. But look, it's true. Tough love. A lot of people on the internet, they claim to be tough guys or women or whatever. And then they get a tiny little dose of truth and it's tears all over. So, I don't know. Oh, who knows? Anyway, I'm telling you what I feel. Let it never be denied that let it never be denied that I don't do that. Anyway, don't do that as a double negative. Anyway, the thing about manga on the shelves is lots of people can see those videos, see those images, and they can take different things away from it. For me, what I take away from it is, hey, it's a wake-up call to the comic industry. Now, I'm not in a position, nor could I hold their hand and say, here's how you're going to fix it. And I'm under no illusion that people at Marvel and DC are waiting breathlessly by their computers for me to give them advice. They are not. That's kind of the big core problem with comics, in my opinion, is there is a hardened, arrogant feeling that nothing to see here, nothing is wrong. Even when things were burning down around them in the mid '90s, Marvel was like, things are better than ever. That's very much on brand for comics and has been for decades. There is a denial that there's any problems, and even when it's absolutely clear there are problems. Why? It kind of boggles the mind after a while. But when I point these things out, I'm like, hey, here's a nice, not subjective, but objective view on something that's going on. It's one reason, and people are always like, oh, Perch, it's the content. Well, you know what? I agree. A lot of the content in the Western comics and the US comics is not appealing. It does not meet the market. It doesn't make people happy. It doesn't make people excited to go run and buy the next issue. There's a ton of reasons for that. They're both a combination of decompressed storytelling, no real action to superhero genre that demands it, 4-issue series to try and get things going, over obsession with Twitter politics and social agendas. Yeah, those things are problems. But you know what? In many ways, those are subjective. I don't like them. Somebody else might. The objective part comes into saying, okay, is the content selling? Not is the content good or bad? It's up to people's opinion. But is the content selling? This is a mass market product. Comics, no matter what people say, was never intended to be niche. It was intended to be mass market. That's why they publish thousands of copies. No matter what kind of very, very niche YA kind of thing you've done, Megs Visaggio has a YA book out there. Megs is not hoping that thing will sell just like 40 copies to Megs' friends. Megs is hoping that's a mass market product. It's a consumer product. That's what it is. That's the very nature of it. So the objective part comes into, is it selling? What are the numbers? What are the factors around why it's not selling? Well, one of the things, if you have a market that says we have a book here at $7 and we have a book here that is, $24, there is a huge price difference. That is an objective fact. So in many ways, I deal in objective facts. Subjective things of if the content is good or bad. I agree. I have my own opinions, and I've given them on this channel. But the reality is, we don't need to deal with opinions on content. We have actual facts. We're lucky. We've got facts in hand about how things are going. You don't need to have that argument. You're welcome to have it, but it is a circular argument that ultimately goes into a hole. Particularly when argued on Twitter with people who are, dumb and don't know what they're doing. So that's the objective part. So when you see those videos at Barnes & Noble, those photos and everything else, or libraries or other things, it is an objective fact. If you're going to have a debate with somebody, you need to get them into a corner where they basically have to say, yeah, I don't care that there's 20 times the amount of manga on the shelf in US comics. US comics are doing better. You need to get them to a point where they just make a completely irrational, nonsensical statement. And then you've won the debate. And congratulations, Elon Musk will send you a little trophy, because that's what happens on Twitter when you win debates. They send you a little plaque, and it looks really cool, and that's what it is. But anyway, to answer the person who wrote in the mail, no, I've been saying this all along. You may have come in late to the game. More power to you. But, I've been saying this all along. It continues to be a problem. And if you, as a follow-up, if you believe I'm wasting my time by saying it all along over and over, you may be right. But That's my choice to make too. Thanks for listening.